Hi yogis, welcome to my second Bheemashakti class that I'm posting on YouTube. The first one, we just kind of went through a whole bunch of random stuff, just kind of giving you an idea of things you can do in Bheemashakti. And now I'm going to work a little bit more like we would normally in a class, which is having goals and things we're working towards. So in this class, we're going to work towards deep forward folding and hip opening. So we can do some fun tricks with that at some point in this class. And so we'll start off with our normal warm-up, which is always the same. Feet hip width or a little wider. First, the swings. Just letting your arms be relaxed. Really letting your joints in your legs be relaxed. And just allowing yourself to twist from your torso. Relax your shoulders. And just let your eyes follow as your body moves right and left. And then we'll hold in the center and we'll swing the arms. So the opposite arm crosses in front. Usually when guys do this, they love to do this like slapping thing. So if that's appealing to you, you can also slap yourself. Or you can just swing your arms. Get a little bit more warmed up in the shoulder. And then we'll hold here in the center and just concentrate on the right shoulder. Make sure your whole body's not moving. This is coming from your shoulder joint. The circle can be as small as it needs to be if there's any pain. Avoid that pain. Cut that out of your circle. Now we're just going to move the arm back. And I will often bring my hands to my ribs, so I just notice if I'm really puffing out my ribs or moving a lot. That gives me a little bit more awareness of how much I'm moving the rest of my body. One more in this direction, and then we'll switch to moving forward. Let's do two more on the right arm. Last one, and then we'll switch to the left. You might notice the left and right sides are very different from each other. But again, just try to get as much movement as you can from your shoulder. It doesn't have to be a big circle. Last time, moving back, and then roll it forward. And two more. Then we'll do some easy back bends. So again, doesn't have to be a big back bend. Just find a place where you can bring your thumbs in towards your spine. Feet again, hip width a little wider throughout this. And you can get as soft as you want in your knees. Lift your chest, relax your shoulders. Today we're also going to feel the hips move forward. We're going to feel that activity in the abdomen. And just hold and breathe regularly. And slowly come back up. And we'll do 2 more. It's not the main focus of today, so I'm not going to do a ton of back bending, that's for sure. So I'm going to get it out now, but still keep it manageable at the beginning of class. So if you're ready to go deeper, you can. You can slide your hands down towards your bum or lower than your bum. Keep the chin up if this is at all straining on the neck. And slowly come back up, just starting to get some more movement through the spine. And 1 more. And then slowly come back up. And then we'll move into our warm-up for the lower body. So bring the legs nice and wide, hands towards your hips, and just bending the knees right and left. Make sure knees are tracking forward over your toes, and you're in a good position. And once you know you're in a good position, you can feel free to lower your chest and lengthen out a little bit more through the back body. One more time, right and left. And find your center and come back up. Usually in the warm-up we do these with the chest expansion arms, so we'll do 1 more set, chest expansion arms. So interlace your fingers behind, roll your shoulders back, come forward, and then you can reach your arms up and over as much as you like, then right and left, 1 more set. And then when you're even, come back up, nice and slow. And we'll go into our Bastrika. So bring your feet, again, about hip width distance, maybe a little wider. Refresher in the Bastrika, same emphasis, inhale and exhale, which seems challenging, especially if you're used to doing Kapalabhati a lot. But it actually be pretty easy to get into that rhythm. And then if you lose the rhythm, just back off and take a moment and then come back when you're ready. The movement helps you find that rhythm. So the movement is just exhale, arms forward, knees bend. Inhale, arms come in, you straighten up. And it can be very loosey-goosey. That's one of my favorite things about this practice actually is everyone's Bastrika looks so different. But the sound should be relatively the same, breathing in and out through the nose. I'm going to go for just 1 set today, 250. Don't let that intimidate you. Take breaks whenever you need. All right. So, relax your joints. So nothing is tensing. This is going to get you ready to go. Except for your belly. Your belly can tense up for these. So it's not the full Kapalabhati pulling in, but you should feel some abdominal engagement. take a moment to just be still if you need it. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to come down to a comfortable seat. Sit cross-legged if you're feeling ready to sit half lotus, full lotus, by all means. Bring your hands towards your lap with your left palm down, your right palm on top of your left. Say the palms are up, but your left hand is the bottom hand. And use that position of your hands to let you completely relax through your shoulders, no tension of holding up the weight of your arms or even seemingly your upper body. Just let your skeleton hold your weight. Enter into a nice, slow, regular breathing pattern. I often joke with a Bheemashakti, it makes me feel so powerful. When I'm just doing it on my own, I'll often start to go really fast at the end, and I'll go, many, many breaths. Like yesterday I did 1,300, and get really fast at the end, and it just makes you feel so energized. Like I often joke that it makes me feel like I could just pick up a car and throw it. So maybe also a good way to just get out the energy of all the craziness of the world has been making you feel rage and making you feel, stuff you just don't know what to do with, don't know how to deal with. Maybe Bheemashakti. And then you just come back to sitting, being still, being calm. Because that's one of the main things we achieve in yoga, is we learn how to moderate, to go from the intensity to the stillness, from big fiery emotions to being completely relaxed and calm. And rub the palms together, create a little heat. And bring the heels of your hands to your eyes so you can hover a little bit in front. And just feeling that warmth around your eye sockets. And slowly start to open your eyes, bring your hands down, letting the light in and coming back. We're going to come to standing. The reason I have the chair in view today is because I'm going to use the chair for my leg extensions. So these are called leg extension at the wall. So you can do them on a wall. You can do them on a lower surface. Wall obviously has lots of options for you. But the general rule is if you really want to focus more on flexibility, something like a table or a stool, or in my case a chair, you will need less strength because you don't have to hold your leg up on the wall. Like I've seen people try to do these, they put their foot on the wall, it just slides down. So obviously if you put your foot on the wall and it's just, you can't hold it up, it slides down, you're going to need to have something where it won't stay. If you're just already a little bit stronger, you want to focus more on your flexibility, or you feel like the wall and staying against the wall is going to steal from your flexibility, and a object like a chair or a stool or a table is great. Just make sure it's not something that's going to fall on you. So this is kind of at my high end, but you got to play with and find where's the right height for you, which is why a wall can be really nice because you can adjust. So we're going to stay here for quite a while, so we might need to adjust as we go along with these. I'm going to do my left leg first. I think will be the easiest way to show. So we're going to bring our leg to the wall, and ideally you're doing this without your hands. If you have to pick up your leg and and then take your leg off the wall, that's not ideal. Ideally we can take our leg and we can place it up where we want to be. Another big focus, especially if you're from a lineage where you can never bend your knee, bend your standing knee. Don't strain your standing leg. One thing to be aware of, oftentimes, especially the bendier folks, will want to lean out. So ideally, the leg that you are standing on is underneath you. If the foot turns out a little bit or the leg goes out a little bit, not the end of the world, but ideally it's more underneath you. We're gonna really be working this outer leg and hip of your standing leg, but try not to strain behind the knee. So bend your knee as much as you need. That's perfectly fine. And you never wanna just try to go too crazy, especially if your leg is too high, the extended leg, because then you're just gonna strain your standing knee. Okay, so leg extension at the wall, A. So this is just like our leg extension on the floor, our movement through the side body, right? So let's start with the hands up, and you can either interlace your fingers and bring your elbows out to the side, or you can grab your elbows, whichever one you're choosing. We're gonna take just a little twist first, so just twisting the body right and left, making sure you're comfortable in the position you're at. And then the next time, you're, as much as you can with your torso to the right, stay there. So that's the idea. We want to really lengthen up the side body. We want to bring our body over that leg instead of crunching in. So lift up tall, active through your left foot. If you are on something besides the wall, you're going to flex the toes back towards you. And then we'll do our 25 exhales as we bring our body over to the left. Last 5. All right, now for the Kapalabhati. Left arm goes inside, right arm goes up and over. If you can hold your foot, by all means hold your foot, but make sure you're not crossing your body over. So right now, if I held my foot, I would have my chest more to the floor, be kind of crossing over, or I could try to make a cubby and shove my head through it, but that's not really ideal. So find this place where you can use your left arm and kind of open up through your left side body, plug your right shoulder in, look up towards the ceiling, 10 Kapalabhati. And then slowly come back up. Again, bend your knee, release your leg instead of using your arms. And then we'll do the other side. So right leg comes up. Let's see, I'm gonna do this like this. Bend, settle your right leg in, bring your arms up, same position you had before. Maybe you want to do a little bit of that twisting again. Make sure you're in a good position with your standing leg. It's not reaching out behind you, it's not turning out too much to the sides. Your leg that is up or on the wall, you're working into that leg from the side, right? So this leg is externally rotated. All right, so once you have that, your torso is as much over to the left as you can. So you're ready to fold over your right leg. 25 pulses down with your little exhale through your nose. Remember, you're reaching your elbow as close as you can to your ankle. Last 5. And then same thing here with our Kapalabhati. Reach your right arm inside with your arm towards the floor. Use that as much as you can to open up your chest. If you can grab your foot and keep your chest open and look up, then by all means do it. If not, reach over in that direction and plug your shoulder in and feel your shoulders stack one on top of the other. Look up underneath your armpit towards the ceiling and 10 Kapalabhati. And then again, carefully bend the leg and set it down. And notice how you feel, a little different when you come out of these. You have to be careful, this chair kind of spins around, so I have to be a little careful where I am in space. Second time around, second set. Again, lift your left leg up, bring it up. That leg is externally rotated. So the toes are up. So your right foot is going this way, left foot's going this way. Arms up over the head. Make sure you switch. I don't know, I think I always like my opposite forearm to be the one that's behind, but just make sure you're switching right and left, and let's do it again. Last 5. And then again, we'll do Kapalabhati. And then the leg that's against the wall or on your object can be bending a little bit too. Again, a little bit that's not completely straight. We're working more around the hips. And probably you feel it in your butt. Look up. 10 Kapalabhati. And slowly, carefully, release your leg. Right side for round 2. Okay, make sure you have your setup. And we'll move to the right. Last 5. And then again, arm comes inside. Roll your chest as open as you can. 10 Kapalabhati. Release your standing leg. We're going to do quite a lot of time here. So third set on this one. Left leg comes up. Again, left leg externally rotated. Right leg underneath you. Arms up. Spine long. Lengthen the sides of your body. Flex your left foot if it's not on the wall. If it is on the wall, you can also work harder by flexing the foot and pulling the toes away from the wall, which is very hard. Lift your chest and bring your body to the left. And for this last one here, you can do your same Kapalabhati, or if you'd like to take a bind around that leg, if that makes sense at all to you, you can bend the leg that's against the wall of your object to get yourself into position. But again, if you're going to be, chest to the floor, it's probably not worth it. But if you can get a bind and lift your chest and look up, and your chest more over your left leg, you can take that option for your Kapalabhati you choose. Bind if you've got it, and release that leg. Okay, last leg extension A, right side. Good, toes up, active foot. If you're against the wall, try to keep your toes away from the wall. Torso over the right leg, 25 pulses. Last 5. It might be different right and left, but if you're doing the other side and you're comfortable on this side, you could bend the leg that's against your object or against the wall. See a different angle from this side of me. I snake my arm underneath, reach the arms behind, and then turn the chest up. That's the most important thing. So make sure you feel your shoulders stacking, your ribs stacking, and your chest up. 10 Kapalabhati. And slowly release out, and bring that leg down. Next one is leg extension at the wall, B. So in A, we were externally rotated, and in B, we're going to be internally rotated. So if you're very flexible against the wall, you will have to pull your toes away to make space for your body to go forward over your leg, or if you have a significantly longer torso than leg. But let's see, I started with my left on the other side, so I'll start my left on this side. So again, without your hands, using your own strength to bring your leg to whatever you've got it on, and instead of the left toes being up and the right toes being out, now the toes will be faced in the same direction. Again, bend your standing leg as much as you need. You can bend the one that's against the wall or on your chair or table or whatever it is as much as you need to. This is a forward fold. So we're going to reach our body forward over our legs. So for some people it might be a very small movement, like reaching your chest forward, reaching your chest forward. You can bring your hands to each other, reach forward. I have to be careful with the swiveling chair here. But we'll do the same 25 exhales as we reach forward. And hopefully my chair won't swivel me around. Okay, so let's give it a try, reaching directly over your leg. And if this is tricky for you, this leg extension is tricky for you, you don't have to go very far, but just keep your spine long so you're not rounding. Bend your knee as much as you need. All right. And then we're going to hold. So if your hold is here, your hold is here, if your hold is here, your hold is here, if you can wrap around your foot, You can bind around the bottom of your foot, so you'll have to pull the top of your foot away from the wall if you're doing that version. The grabbing hand is the hand that you want to lengthen that side of the body more. So look forward and lengthen as much as you can, 10 Kapalabhati. And then slowly, carefully come back out. And the right leg. You should feel this more on the inside of your standing leg. And make sure the toes are in the same direction when you set it up. Again, your leg might want to go back behind you, not the end of the world, but don't let it go really far behind you. And if it's a small movement, you can keep your arms overhead and keep it really small. You can do versions of these where you kind of really take a whole bow the whole time. I'm just really working on that lengthening just forward more than anything else in this version. So find where you want to be, and we'll do 25 pulses forward. Again, we'll hold, maybe binding past the foot if that's available, but lengthen, lift away from your thigh, and 10 Kapalabhati. And then slowly, carefully, come back out. We're just going to do one more set of these. So left leg comes up. And bend your standing knee as much as you need to. Find your stability. And arms up 25 pulses with a little exhale. Last 5. And offer up a different option, a twist if you want it. You can do the same Kapalabhati we did in the other one, or you can twist out to the side. So if you're doing that one, left hand goes towards your foot and right arm, or sorry, opposite way. Your left foot's up, so right hand goes to your pinky toe. Left shoulder rolls out as much as you can, so you're trying to stack the shoulders again. I'm not sure if I'm quite getting it, I'm probably a little bit away, but you can look over that shoulder. If that's a strain, your shoulders are far from being stacked, then don't look there yet. 10 Kapalabhati. And slowly retrace your way out. Bring your leg off, and last of the leg extension B, right leg. Again, square your hips up towards your wall, your chair, your ledge. Do the 25 pulses. Don't worry if you're not getting 25, right? This is my 25 and whatever length makes sense for you. So if you're always doing 10, 15, whatever it is, 30, your own pace. option to either fold forward into the Kapalabhati or take it as a twist, so left hand to your right pinky toe area. Right arm goes out. Feel that you need to kind of draw in through that right hip as you reach your right shoulder back. You're going to stack your shoulders, optional look over your shoulder, but don't strain your neck. 10 Kapalabhati. And then slowly reverse out of it. Okay, we got one more leg extension. E for Ekapada. So this is working your head below your leg theoretically. So let's see if I can show this here with my left leg. So left leg comes up, and you're going to stay again in that internal rotation, so not turning out to the side. So a very similar setup to our last one then. But in this one, your left arm is going to go inside your left leg, and you're going to reach that arm to the floor, trying theoretically to bring your torso or shoulder lower than the leg that's against the wall or the chair, whatever it may be. The other arm for balance can come up to the wall or to the chair as you reach your body inside the leg. And you can bend the leg that's against the wall or the chair quite a bit too. So obviously that's going to help you get closer to where you want to be. So feel free to bend that one up quite a bit. Use your right hand as a balance, it'll help for the balance. And start to pulse 25 times. Be careful with this chair. 25 times towards the floor. And there's no Kapalabhati here yet. We're just gonna work on this opening. And we'll try the other side. And careful bringing the leg down. Right toes up, left toes, same direction as right toes. Bend that leg, the leg that's against the wall. Left hand comes to the wall or the chair, whatever you're using. Right arm comes inside. You're just sliding your shoulder. This is probably a very small movement, but just sliding your shoulder down, reaching your arm towards the floor. Again, find your starting point, 25 pulses. Hold, and carefully come out. Let's try the other side. We're going to do 3 sets of this. If you are getting your body below, and you can, just like you're there, you can just kind of slide your foot over your head. You can feel free to slide your foot overhead and do the Kapalabhati. Don't think that's in the cards for me yet, but and find your setup and your top leg, left legs to the wall. Left arms inside, right hand's helping you to balance. Little pulses down towards the floor. Last 5. Hold. And then we'll go back to the right leg. And again, if you're nowhere near Ekapada, nowhere near the head being below, the shoulder being below, don't worry about it, but just notice, hopefully when we do multiple sets, the point is you see some improvement. First set, second set to third set. So again, going back to the right leg, Lengthen that leg as much as you need. You can always bend your standing leg as much as you need. Make sure you're feeling comfortable, not straining at your joints. Left hand is your hand that helps you balance. We'll pulse 25 times down through the right arm. And just hold. And slowly come back up. One more set. Left leg comes up. And bend that leg as much as you need. Right arm, your balance arm. Get 25 pulses to bring your body inside your left leg. Hold. And slowly come back up. And last one on the right leg. Again, feel free to do the full thing. Wrap your leg around your head if you're at that point. You're there, so you're just kind of tucking your body inside your leg and doing your 10 Kapalabhati. Otherwise, just seeing how close you can get. Last time. Hold, and then slowly reverse back out. Okay, we're going to do just a couple quick sun salutations, not the whole crazy Bheemashakti salutations, but just a few traditional sun Bs to warm things up a little bit more, particularly that we're going to add in a little bit for the shoulders, and just kind of get some strength into the hands for some stuff we want to do later. Move this a little bit out of the way. So, on top of your mat, feet together. Inhale up, arms up, and exhale, fold forward. And careful, work the legs pretty hard, so don't force anything here. Look forward, halfway lift. Maybe a little bit longer through the base of the neck, longer through your tail. And then fold forward again and step back. Look forward, shift your weight forward, one chaturanga. Inhale forward to upward facing dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, bring your legs wide all the way to the edges of your mat. And we're going to pulse back 25 times to warm up a little bit more through the shoulders. So just pulsing back with those little exhales. And then look forward, bring your legs back to hip width distance. And just one elephant walk, lifting from your hips to walk your feet up towards your hands. And then feet together, halfway lift, hold in, inhale all the way up. And we're going to do this one more time now through the sun B. So sit your hips low, position, pull the ribs in, send your tail down, and rotate in through your pinkies, through your triceps. You can keep your hands apart or bring them together. We'll do 10 Kapalabhati here. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, look forward, step your feet back. And start to bring your body forward, lower down into your chaturanga. Inhale, move forward into your upward facing dog or cobra, 10 more Kapalabhati. And back to downward facing dog. Now I'm going to stay here, going right into your warrior one. So look forward, step your right foot in between your hands, roll the edge of your left foot, come up again. You can bring your palms together, Ashtanga style, or keep them separate, but look up towards your hands, bend into your right leg, roll that right hip back, 10 Kapalabhati. And bring your arms down, send your right leg back. For a little fun here, we're going to try to do our Kapalabhati in the push-up. So if that seems terrible, bring your knees down to the floor, otherwise chest forward, lower yourself down, hold 10 Kapalabhati. Then roll forward and just take a upward facing or cobra, and exhale back to downward facing dog. And left side, left leg comes through, roll to the edge of your right foot, come up, try to square your hips again, sit low into the left leg, but lift up through the belly, look up towards your hands, 10 Kapalabhati. And frame your foot, roll into the ball of the big toe. Right foot, send your left leg back. Same fun as before. Bring your knees to the floor if you need to. Chest forward, lower down, hold 10. And rolling through to your upward facing or cobra. And back to downward facing dog. And bring your legs wide. We'll do 25 more presses. Back to hip width, you can step or jump your feet up. Towards your hands, look forward. Relax down, forward fold. And inhale, arms up, lift up, look up towards your hands. And release your arms down by your side. I'll take a step out to the side for a little prasarita. So prasarita, I'm gonna line up my feet along the edges of my mat. That just gives me kind of a frame of reference of where my heels are, but you don't have to be so type A if you don't want to be. And we're going to start with our hands at our hips and just do a little right and left. Just like before, you might have to go a little wider with your feet or adjust a little bit so that your knees are tracking in a good, comfortable place. And then we'll move the hands down a little bit so they're actually on your kneecaps, which is kind of neat. You can kind of feel how they work to shift you right and left. Just slowly warming things up so if it feels like too much, you can always back out a little bit. Otherwise, you can start to bring your chest forward. Hopefully the legs are nice and warmed up so that this feels like a pretty cozy prasarita already. And then we'll find the center and bring the hands underneath. Right, toes maybe turned in slightly. So we're gonna pulse kind of like we did in the wide leg down dog. So just make sure you're not like just pulsing and leaning back into your hamstrings. If you're very cozy doing that, make sure this is more about your spine, tipping your hips, and creating lengthened space. So hands about shoulder width apart. So we'll do 25 pulses forward, bringing your chest or your head down towards the floor. floor, you can let the head touch the floor. If that's more of a strength, your inner thighs, you're not getting much from your back, then come out a little bit and let this be kind of a marriage of a nice stretch in your legs and your back. And we'll do 10 Kapalabhati either with your head to the floor or with your hands forward in front of you, hands on blocks, or you can reach them back inside your legs if you'd like. Slowly, carefully, come back, heel, toe your feet back into touch. Heel, toe them back out. One more time, heel, toe in. And heel, toe out. And then hands to your hips and come back up. And we're just going to go through that one more time, maybe slightly quicker. So bend your knees right and left. And then bring your hands to your knees, still lengthening out through your spine. If you're comfortable there, you can relax your torso lower. And then choose where you want to be with your hands in front of you. So your hands won't go behind you as you do the pulses, but if you are getting low, you can aim your forehead to the floor. Keep your heels of your hands in line with your heels of your feet. Make sure you're getting that roll of the pelvis. That's the main thing. It's easy to do these and not really be doing much. And we'll hold in our deepest place, either with the hands on the floor, on blocks, or behind you. 10 Kapalabhati. Slowly, carefully walk your hands back out. We are going to come down towards the floor, and you can do this as a side splits prep. So going out to where you're still comfortable. You have blocks in front of you, you can hang out there for a moment. There's a whole bunch of kriyas we do around side splits. We're not going to do those today, but just getting a little bit more stretch there at the groin. And then when you're at your furthest place back, walk your hands back and just sit your butt down. So you feel a nice stretch on the inner thighs, a little rocking in that stretch. All right, and then slowly, I'm kind of stuck between my mat and my couch. So slowly free yourself if you're stuck in between anything. And I'm going to warm up the shoulders a little bit. So you can sit whatever way is comfortable for you. I'm just going to go, I think, crisscross, easy seat. And we'll do a little cow face warm up. So right arm out to the side and then bring it up so that the back of your hands, your palm is to your back, like you're going to pat your back. Left hand comes out to your right elbow. So doing this Bheemashakti style, we're going to do little pulses and those little exhales. So from this position, you're just going to pull the elbow in towards your body. I'm healing something in my pec, so mine are going to be really tiny. But, you know, they can be bigger. Just don't strain anything. So small movements, elbow towards the center of you. Keep your chin up. Actually, you can look towards your left armpit. Good. And then hold that arm there. Left arm goes out, so the palm is facing back, thumb is down, or internally rotating. You can reach that back so that your back of your left hand is towards your back and your palm is towards your back, and maybe you can reach your fingertips up. If you can get the full cow face, grip the interlaced fingers, go for it. Oh, tough for me right now. And we'll do 10 Kapalabhati. If you can't get the grip, no worries. Just keep your hands flat across your back, or you can use a strap if you'd like. 10 Kapalabhati. And then slowly release your way back out. Just make sure the arms up too isn't like cranking your neck, right? So the arm, it's either at the side of your head, or if you're very bendy, I've seen people get their elbow like behind their head without cranking their neck. So one of those options. Don't force space by letting your neck be bullied by your arm. To the other side, left arm up, and drop that hand back towards your back. Right hand holds the elbow. Look into your right armpit. 25 pulses. And then we'll hold that one there. Right arm reaches out, thumb down, reach behind, bring it up towards your back. Maybe you can get the little hook with your hands. If not, no worries. I don't think it's happening for me on this side. But just hold them at a place so you're not straining. You can lift your chin. 10 Kapalabhati. And release out of it. And let's do another set or two. So right side, right arm up. Bring the hand back behind. Hold your left elbow, lift your left armpit. Let's just do 15 pulses this time. And then I'm going to show the grip just in case anybody is confused about this grip. Left arm reaches out, up. Maybe touching the hands, maybe starting to bind. The tricky thing here too is usually we back bend, we arch the ribs forward. So try to pull your ribs in and down. 10 Kapalabhati. And then release. And one more. Left arm up, hold your elbow. 15 pulses, look to the right. Right arm up, behind. Maybe you can get the bind. And 10 Kapalabhati, ribs in, spine straight. Release that. And then we're going to go back up to standing here for a moment. So bring your hands to the floor, tuck your toes, or come out of your cross-legged position, and come to standing. We're going to work on guillotine and titibasansa. There's a lot of different names for these. But we've done a lot of things that should make us be pretty ready. So let's just give it a try. So just like your prasarita, wide leg position. You don't want to go as wide as that one we're trying to get our head to the floor, but legs out wide. And bring your hands down towards your ankles, bend your knees. And then bring your hands inside. So thumbs on the inside of your ankles, fingers on the outside of your ankles, and start to pull your chest through. So very similar to the leg extension E, where we were reaching our shoulder, reaching down inside the leg. Same sensation here. So trying to use your grip on your ankles, or as you get more flexible, grip higher up on your calves and draw your shoulders as much inside your torso, as much inside legs as possible. And then take your hands and wrap them around. And just like the last one, you may not be able to bind. I can't bind, but trying to wrap your hands around and then straightening out your legs a bit. Chin tucks, look up at yourself, and try to draw your chest through as much as you can. And then we'll slowly come back a little bit, but we're going to stay in this seated or in this bent knee position, walk the feet in a little bit, coming into a squat. So knees track over ankles, bring your palms to each other, and press your elbows out. We're going to try the arm balance from here. So in the gauche lineage, this is called crane. Sometimes they call it, I think, firefly in other styles of yoga. And you can do this, the gauche way would be tented up in your fingers. We haven't done anything to prep for that. If you're not used to doing that, that's probably not going to be something you would go for. So you can go up on your fingers, or you can go palms flat. There are a lot of different ways to put your hands. Usually palms flat, technically you should have your fingers forward, but there's a lot of ways to try this. So bring the arms inside the legs, just like we did before. I'm going to go to the side. And then the more you can get your body through your legs, the easier it's going to be. So try to get your body as much through your legs as you can. So you can bring your hands back and make a shelf with your upper arms so that your thighs just sit down, your butt eventually will just sit down on that shelf. Once you can get everything on the shelf, then you can start to take a lift off. Maybe playing with lifting one leg or the other, or eventually both legs. I did this yesterday with my flat palms, so I'm going to try. Much harder for me to get my flat palms down. We'll try. And then just try to find, again, that place where you can support yourself so that your butt and your head are kind of in one line. Once you can get that, then you can start to press away from the floor, really dome up through your upper back, and squeeze your legs into your arms, and then press through your hands to push the arms back into the legs. Head's the last thing to come up. And lower your body back down. All right. That was fun. Now we're going to work a little bit more on the hips. So let's open our hips up a little bit more, and we'll do what in Bheemashakti we call the road to lotus. The road to lotus is going to be very different for each person. If you have a comfortable lotus, you can just go skip ahead, go right to lotus. But it can't just be like I can vaguely get my feet up into my hip crease. You have to have not only your foot in your hip crease, but you have to have your toes hanging off the cliff of your leg. If you don't have a lotus where your toes are hanging off both legs, skipping ahead to lotus. So the path to lotus could be starting off, you might stay in that cross-legged easy seat. That might be where to go. So you can start in cross-legged easy seat, and then you can start to line up, call this success in meditation and lineage I first trained in, where your heels are stacked one in front of the other. We're going to do the right leg first, so the left foot will be in towards the body, and the right one will be the front leg. And then from that position, again, maybe that's where you want to stay. The next one would be sliding your heel up so that it's kind of in between your calf and your thigh. We want the knee to be relaxed of this right leg. So you could stay there if that's pretty comfortable. Maybe go more higher up. So you're bringing this knee in closer towards your midline, less out. And then half lotus would be the next step. So if you're comfortable in half lotus, you can bring your foot up into half lotus. From this position, the bottom leg then would come forward. So wherever you get to a point where this is painful in your knee, just doesn't feel right, you're straining, that's your stopping point. So the next point would be to extend the left shin forward, and ideally this left heel would be further out than my right knee. This is my stopping point in the back of lotus. So find where your stopping point is along the way. If you can bring your left heel so it's out wider than your knee, you can stay there. That's the last thing before you actually come into your full lotus. So regardless of where you are in that path, find the perfect spot. And then we're going to do a little bit of movement with the exhales. So the movement is a right and a left movement over your knees. So if you're in full lotus, if you're in half lotus, whatever version you're in, just make sure you're stable enough that you can move right and left. If that strains the knee, then you have to back off and go back down that path a little bit further back. So find the right place, and we're going to pulse over the knee, right and left, with a little exhales. we're going to pulse forward. If this is too much, you can also bring a block and put that in front of you, and you can bring your hands on the block. Otherwise, finding a place where you can bring your hands forward in front of you, little pulses forward with the exhales. Just hold. You can walk your hands a little bit further forward. We don't do the Kapalabhati here either. Lotus is considered a very kind of gentle opening, so no Kapalabhati just yet. Unless you have your full lotus with your feet hanging off the cliff, then you can Kapalabhati. And then slowly come back up. And I have a ritual how I get out of these, so that when you're doing any lotus stuff, that's usually the most dangerous time. So be very, very careful of how you extract your right foot. And my ritual is I bring my other leg out long, and I do a couple half butterflies. Sometimes if I'm feeling really delicate, I'll even use my hands to support that movement to kind of release that hip. And then once I feel like that's released, I'll extend forward, and then it's like, oh, straightening the leg, and then I do the windshield wiper with my legs. Right, so just be careful, come out slow. Same thing on the other side. So again, you might have to go through that whole path until you know where's the perfect spot. So bring your legs cross-legged. You could do the whole thing. Cross-legged from your easy seat. Bring your heel in close, right heel in close, left heel in front of your right heel. You can set the right foot up, either closer in or further out. So the further out's actually harder because we're bringing the knees in closer. Or you can bring your foot up into your hip crease with that intention of someday letting your feet hang off if they're not there yet. You could stay there, do the whole thing there, or you could slide the bottom heel out. And again, ideally, this foot would go past, so you're narrowing your lotus, but not happening for me yet. And then flex this bottom foot if you're doing this version, and find your hands, little pulses, right and left with the exhale. Pulse forward. And walk it forward and hold. Breathe regular. And slowly walk your hands back. Again, very, very careful as you bring the foot out of position. Careful as you extend long through the right leg, maybe the half butterfly. If you have something else that works better for you, by all means, take it. This is just what I've naturally found myself wanting to do. And I find it works very well for me to release any tension, and then again you can extend and windshield both legs. We're going to stick to just one of those today. I was hoping for more, but for time purposes, I think just one. We are going to do one more version here in a half lotus option. So if you have a comfortable half lotus, half lotus. If not, then bring your foot inside. So there's kind of two things that could be challenging. This is called, I'm never going to remember the Sanskrit. It's a really hard Sanskrit word for me to remember. but in Bheemashakti we call this modified lotus, and it requires one leg to be tucked back. So there's two things. If you're doing the full version, your left shin will tuck back. Make sure that you're nice and flat on your ankle there, so if you do this and you have to roll to the side, that butt comes up off the floor, it's not time yet. So the full version would be left leg tucked back and right foot up into your hip crease, sit bones down, able to sit up tall. If this is not possible, you can do the right foot in towards your center of your body, and if that is not a problem, but this is a problem, having the leg tucked back, you can always do a version with your left leg long. So take it as you need it. If you do have your foot up in your hip crease, you can take this as a bind, it's a twist. So with your right foot, we're going to twist towards the right. So you can either take a little half, working towards getting your foot into your hand here, ideally not folding forward to get the big toe. Oh, it's so close and not quite there yet for me. So maybe I'll give myself a little cheek folding forward, we'll see. No, I'm just going to pretend. So right hand's behind, left hand comes to the right knee. If you're very bendy, you can also stick it underneath your knee, so you're getting a deeper twist, or back of the hand towards the knee. So choose where you want to be, relax the shoulders, roll them down, look over your right shoulder. We're going to go for 20 Kapalabhati here. And then look forward and slowly work your way out. Right leg long, left leg long, little windshield wipers. And set up the same on the other side, or if you have an injury that makes one side different than the other, just be mindful. You have your options. You can have the left foot just in towards the center, towards your right thigh. You can have the right leg long. If you are tucked back, make sure you don't roll to the side. And then once you get it set up, maybe you're going to get that bind. So you want your right hand, look over your left shoulder, try to be as tall as possible. 20 Kapalabhati. And back towards center, release it. Okay. One more set. Left leg tucked back. Roll the calf out if you need. Bring your right foot into half lotus. Or your modification. You can also make this a regular spine twist. And look over your shoulder. 20 more. Release it. And take your time making your adjustments, moving to side to side. If you need more time to get comfortable with that, take it. Look over your left shoulder. And 20 more. Release it, maybe like the lights out for a little shake. Just going to do a couple more things for strength and for hips. So bring your left leg in. If it's not comfortable, you can leave it out. Otherwise, you're going to bring it in towards you. And we're going to do a little rock the baby. So right leg comes up if you're comfortable. holding on all the way around your shin, you can. If that rounds you too much, then maybe better to hold on wider. Kind of keep your spine long, lift up as tall as you can, and just moving a little bit through that hip. And we're going to stay on this right side and try for a compass. I was so challenged in my crane before. I didn't do any Kapalabhati in the crane. But ideally, getting to a point where we're comfortable enough with these if we can do some Kapalabhati. So if this is a lot for you and you're like me and you're just like, I'm just trying to make this thing happen, make it happen. If you're comfortable, you can Kapalabhati. And if this is not really happening, where you don't have to get the leg perfectly straight or anything, but you can hold on someplace. If it feels like it's not a good place to do the Kapalabhati, like generally if that feels like you're straining, don't do it. But if you feel like you can do it, you can bring your hand to the outside edge of your pinky foot, left hand, or pinky toe, the left hand. Right hand come inside, just like when we were doing our guillotine. Use that to try to pull the leg back behind you. And then initially, like you're going to see my butt comes up off the floor. Over time, the butt will stay down. Look through your left armpit, just like we did in the cow face arms, and 10 Kapalabhati. Carefully bend the leg, but keep it up higher than your elbow. That's the only rule. It needs to be higher than your elbow. And we're going to place our hands about shoulder width or slightly wider. Extend your left leg out. This is called elephant, 10 Kapalabhati. And then set it down. We'll try the other side. So right leg comes in, rock the left side, baby. So if you're interested, intrigued by Bheemashakti, and you're like, how do they start doing like Kapalabhati and handstands and stuff like that? You know, you have a posture that's an arm balance, or a posture where you have weight on your hands, like doing the Kapalabhati in the push-up position, like we did earlier. That's a great way to start training that. And when we start doing handstands, we're doing against the wall anyway, so takes a little bit of the balance element out. Alright, let's try for compass on this side. Again, you can hold it. You can hold your knee kind of in your armpit and just sit up tall and do Kapalabhati just like this. That'd be a great way to get started with it. Otherwise, bring that right hand across to your baby toe. Left hand, gonna put that leg behind you as best you can. And then maybe the left butt lifts off, maybe it'll stay down. Look up through your right armpit, 10 Kapalabhati. And slowly bring the leg down. It's still bent higher up than your elbow. If it starts to slide down, I did a little bit on this side. Make sure it's high up enough that you can just drape it over that arm. Hands about shoulder width apart. Right leg extends forward. 10 Kapalabhati. And then lower it down. Alright, we're going to come long ways again on the mat if you were off of long ways. And slowly lower yourself down. Almost done now. Because we did the Ekapada practice in the standing position, we're going to try one in the back. We've done a couple of other things that kind of get us into that sensation of bringing the leg behind the body. So bring your right leg up, half happy baby, and just try to draw your knee down and let your left leg reach out long and just see what it feels like. Maybe your knee is not below your shoulder, right? If it's not below your shoulder, you're probably not going to get there today. I'm not going to get there today, but just getting that stretch. And then just like we've done in a couple of different positions, you can start to hold on at the pinky toe side, reach your right arm inside, and just see what it feels like to draw the leg like you're going to bring it behind you. Again, it might not go there, mine doesn't go there. Don't strain yourself, but maybe you're just trying to get your forehead up towards your shin and take a little rock right and left. Or maybe this is your chance to bring your foot back behind your head. Maybe touch your foot to your head, just see where it's cozy, and just stay there and take a little rock right and left. And then slowly stretch that leg and lower it down. Try the other side, half happy baby. You can always stay here. Just starting to pull the left leg down, the shoulder pull down, and really feel that opening up in the hip, the length through the side body. Or you can start to work the right hand across towards the pinky toe side, and again drawing yourself inside the leg goes back behind you. Keep doing that little thing with your thumb, like you're rotating and drawing back more and more. And maybe that's enough. Maybe you just want to stay there. Maybe your foot and your head want to touch. You want to touch your foot to your forehead and just find the place that's interesting, where you're still working your knee down. You're still feeling that nice stretch through the back side. And a lot of abdominal engagement. So draw yourself in more. You can reach out long through your right leg. And again, just slowly, carefully extricating yourself. Maybe get that leg nice and long for a moment, and then bring it back, or take a little windshield wipers with both feet. Okay, we got to reverse a little bit out of that constant forward folding and even ourselves out a little bit before we end. So we're going to do a reverse tabletop. So bring your feet about hip width distance. Actually, I need to come up for this one. I'm wanting to bridge, we'll bridge after this, but let's do this first. So bring your hands back behind you with your fingertips facing down towards your feet. Feet about hip width distance, and then lift up into a reverse tabletop. If it's comfortable, you can let your head hang back. And pressing away from the floor, and press through your heels of your feet and press your pelvis towards your knees. And then lower it down. We're going to do this again, adding Kapalabhati. So press yourself up. 10 Kapalabhati. Lower down. And then we'll do one more. Press yourself up, 10 more. And then lower down. And then from here, we'll do a little bit, just quick bridging, leg extension. So bring your body down to your mat, arms on the sides of your body. Feet about hip width distance, close towards your butt, and slowly start to rock your pelvis. So you're drawing your tail towards your heels, and then lift your tail up towards your knees. Maybe roll the shoulders underneath you slightly. You can interlace your hands if that feels good. And we're just going to lift the right leg up, extend it out, and bring it back. Out and back. 3. Your pelvis lifted, 2, last 1, hold it up, lift your hips up, and bring it down. And then keep the hips up, left leg comes up, extend out, and up, and up. Keep the hips high, keep them level. Last 3, last 2, last 1, hold it up, lift yourself up higher, squeeze your butt, and slowly bring that leg down and squeeze your butt again. Press again your pelvis or pubic bone towards your knees. Slide your heels out if they were starting to draw in towards each other. And slowly release your hands if they're together. Trying to roll down one vertebra at a time. We're not going to go through the whole shoulder stand routine to end. We're just going to do the rolls. So we'll demo the rolls. If you didn't see the first video I posted, or if you don't remember. So for the rolls, we're going to hold on at the inside of the feet. We're going to bring the legs like butterfly position, hold on at the heels, and we're just going to roll back, extend the legs, roll up around the chest towards the feet. So 15 rolls. holding at the inside of your heels. Make sure you're not looking at the video for this, so you can watch one and then join in if you want a little bit more to see what it looks like. Tuck your chin slightly. Pull back, and never shoving your head down, just gently touch the toes, curl up. This massaging of the spine. Control your rolls. Inhale back, exhale as you come forward. My mat count, I have 3 left. And last time, roll back. Come back up, arm forward. And then I'm just going to go into our seated meditation to finish. So find a comfortable seat. If you feel like your hips are warmed up enough and you can do a full lotus. Maybe it's full lotus time. I won't be so picky. My feet are so not close to hanging off the edges, but still feel warmed up enough that it feels a good place to be. Palms to the lap, left palm underneath right. Find a place where you can relax your shoulders and let your arms just be heavy. Just a slight tuck of the chin so the back of your neck gets a little bit longer. I'm just going to hold here for 10 breaths. Together. You can bring the heels of your hands towards your eyes. Try to let that warm sensation that you feel around your eye sockets kind of translate all the way down to your back of your neck and your shoulders. And then all the way down your spine. And slowly open your eyes, let the light back in. Thank you guys so much for playing today. Namaste.